salvation, relationship, abandonment, distrust, triumph, and reunion. But I want to look at the fourth saying, because it's a confusing saying. Jesus utters something that sounds strange to anybody who's been following Jesus. Since the beginning of his earthly ministry, he has done things that have puzzled all of us who have paid attention to Jesus' word. There was no depth that appeared that Jesus could not go. Those who paid attention to his walk have even said, even the winds and waves obey his voice. He made deformed limbs straighten out. He took bread and caused people to be in awe because he took a last lunch and fed thousands. And on top of that, he made divine statements that all things are possible with him. But inside of the text that you heard, we hear something in this fourth saying that sounds like something we would say in the midst of going through some tough situation. It sounds like something that a person would utter who has been praying for a long time about something. And you feel that is important to you, but nothing is happening yet. It sounds like someone who would say he has been giving and giving and giving to others. But at a crucial moment in their life, no one seems to be helping them. And they make other words like, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? These sound like someone who has prayed for others. And you have seen them recover. But you have an illness that you have been praying about, but nothing has happened for you yet. Isn't it something how you can go and pray for someone? Pray that God will bless them while you have trouble yourself. And may even later see that person life manifest a blessing and you still struggling. And some of us don't like to admit it because we know God heals us. And we don't like to say, God, I feel like you have abandoned me. I want to raise about the question this morning or statement by simply saying to us this morning, it's Resurrection Sunday. I want to say to you, the Father, His leading. Building up to this point of the saying of Jesus, it appears as if he is saying, like some of us say in these days, Jesus seems like he's in his feelings. He sounds like someone who's been going through. And appears as if he's at this moment feeling like me. He feels like you and me. And for those of you who don't know, Jesus is not like I heard one preacher say, he's not like that stuff we put in our coffee. Jesus is not half and half. Jesus is 100% man as well as 100% God. But in this text, he surely sounds like 100% me. So I'm having a time with this moment. And maybe a couple more, but it appears that Jesus is in a bad place. And there's nothing that can be done in his predicament. Did his power stop because he has been taken by the enemy? Did it stop because of his judgment 5 times in 4 courts? Or was it in the beginning that it all took place? Am I not the only one this morning who feels like in this text, this doesn't seem like the Jesus that you know? Looking at the text, first of all, if we're going to follow Jesus' lead, we got to realize first off in the text that we had an enemy. We got an enemy. And the enemy is one who's always an enemy. And not at any time switch to being your friend. The enemy that we're talking about in this text is not like you can meet somebody one day and be a friend. And later something happened in your life and now this person has turned. And now they're your enemy. This enemy is always your enemy. He's never looking like he's going to be on your side. The truism is he's a liar. Father of lies that may give you the appearance that he may be your friend. But the truism is the Bible says he's an adversary. An adversary means he's an opponent. And all the time an opponent, when it comes to sports, is that person who's on the other side. That is trying to stop you from getting from point A to point B. In verse 42, you say that he hear these words, he saved others. But he can't save himself. This word save means to keep safe and sound. This word means to deliver or to protect. Rescue you from danger. They said, if he be king of Israel, then come down. Then they would believe. If you're the king, Jesus, king means the leader of people or commander, Lord of the land. He said to Jesus right on the cross, that's saying to Jesus, you trusted in God. Let him deliver you now. He trusted in God. You trusted in this divine power you say you got. And if you got such a power, then why don't you come down? Jesus has placed his confidence in God. And he has a trust in something or something he feels has this supernatural ability to do what he can't do at this moment. Jesus is our example and our model. And is hanging there while the enemy is mocking the things he testified to. And put his trust in. And right now, at face value, and maybe ignorance of what's going on, it doesn't look like he has confidence or courage while hanging on the cross. When there is trouble, Jesus has said, be of good cheer. But it doesn't appear to be his sentiments, not right now. We can have some moments in our life when it looks like our backs are against the wall. And you have been testifying, you've been trusting in God. But from the looks of the perils and the place you're in today, it appears that the place you can put your trust in God is not so trustworthy. And I say this, our enemy, Satan, would love for you to turn your back when things are bitter. He wants you to think that it's not going to get any better. But Jesus didn't believe he was being forsaken. Just that Job didn't when he had some terrible times. Job knew that it was a change that took place in his life. And it was going to take a change for something to turn around. He said he was going to wait until his change comes. It appears that the enemy wanted him to second guess the saving power as well as his sonship privilege. Satan wanted those around him to doubt the things that Jesus shared and the things that Jesus said. So in the midst of things appearing to be falling, Jesus was remaining faithful. You can stay faithful when you know about the future. Christ knew where he was headed. Christ was not out of control. The question is, why would he say that? That the God in which we serve and the God in which he prayed had forsaken him. The adversary would love for you to give up the faith. But it's easy to hold on when you know who's holding the future. Follow Jesus' lead by recognizing you always and always will have an enemy. But also in this text, there is encouragement. After the enemy's comments was coming out of the mouths of many people, Jesus speaks. And what he says was a little shocking in that ninth hour. Now, investigating the time of the words Jesus uttered, because the time is important. This will help us to understand why Jesus said what he said. During the last hour on the Day of Atonement, the priest who was in charge, or the high priest, would give a scripture of hope for those saints who were there, to help encourage them as they are headed out on another day's journey. You know, with the uncertainties of traveling day by day, the last thing he would do was give a scripture that was supposed to engage the people's mind and help them go further. It will be the same today as our benediction. Y'all know when we get to the end of the service, we give a benediction. We talk about now unto him who's able to keep us from falling. We say, may the Lord, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, the sweet communion of his Holy Spirit, may it rest, rule, and abide. Not only was Jesus the sacrifice for the people, but he was the priest of the people. He addressed the crowd at the cross. And it's still true. Many who are around the scene dealing with Jesus' work are sometimes confused. And there are others who are yet needing to be convinced. Psalm 22 is a reflection of this fourth saying. Not only this psalm was for the betterment of the people, it was supposed to put things in perspective. Every person at the cross shared a part in this prophecy and God's plan. The priest knew that the people knew the psalm. Understand, Psalm 22 should be known by the people. He used a Messianic psalm. He knew who was there besides the enemy. Jesus knew there were some people who were there who needed encouragement. The scribes were there, elders were there, and they knew the psalm like the back of their head. The priest would make the atonement, then he would start the scripture off, and they would follow or remember the rest of the words of the annual day atonement. Somewhat like our responsive reading, I would say. You know, the deacon would read the first line, and then the people would read the second line. So what Jesus was doing was he was getting ready. Can I say it as the whole deacon? He was lining the hymn. He was saying one thing, and those who knew it should follow the next thing. And for those Jews of that time, when Jesus uttered those words, it should have brought something to their mind. The time as well as the truth. In the midst of what was going on the cross. Jesus may have been given the appearance of losing the faith, but to hear him quote the scripture in the ninth hour, he was assuring those who had their heads down that you got no reason to be dismayed. If he's the Messiah, how can he be on the cross? And mainly, the question for the crowd is, if you are God's son, which means you have displayed all of these attributes of being the Son of God. And if you are the Son of God, why don't you have enough power to come down off the cross? And I say and share this with you this morning, the Gospels when Jesus came was all about them recognizing who Jesus was. Everybody, and I say this, even some of us babes in Christ want a sign or a wonder from the Lord. And if you read the Gospels, that's all you see him doing. Validating I'm the Son of God. Son of man. And every time he turns around, will you touch somebody? Will you heal somebody? If you be God, why don't you turn here? They wanted him to validate. Since the claim is you're a son of God, you should be able to do something. And here Jesus on the cross saying, my God, why have you forsaken me? That don't sound like no son of God to me. You know, to be realistic, Jesus was doing just what the Son of God was supposed to do. Jesus gave the answer when he gave scripture from Psalm 22. When it said he trusted in his God, let him deliver himself. Psalm 22 had the answer in it. Jesus gave the answer to the scribes and the elders, and he also gave encouragement to the other saints who were around the cross, letting them know why he wasn't coming down. But they didn't realize what Jesus was doing. It was because of this great dilemma. Many around him just couldn't see what Jesus was doing. They were so busy looking at his pain and his predicament that they had no scriptural perception. Can I say this? Some of us at this moment are looking at COVID-19 so hard. We are looking at the virus so hard that we are missing the Lord talking to us because of what is happening around us. He was simply saying to those around them, I'm not worried because I know this part that I'm playing is a part of the play. We got an enemy. But you ought to look for encouragement. The last point, you got to know that there is enlightenment for us who are on this journey. There is the part where we should be shouting right now. Because in the midst of whatever is happening, Jesus is letting them know, don't worry. I got everything under control. Because in the beginning of the study of the fourth saying, or what I like to say when I was looking at it, number 4 is in the middle. It's in the thick of it. It's in the midst of the journey. You need to know this when you're in the thick of it. when you're in the midst of life and things are going wrong, you need to understand God has not forsaken you. Here we are sitting there thinking that Jesus was not the Jesus that we knew. He didn't sound like Jesus. He didn't sound like he's a water walking Jesus. He didn't sound like the one who opened blinded eyes. He didn't sound like the one who could break bread for thousands. This place was a place of pain, place of peril that made him say what he said. But it was just said because of what was happening at the time. He was saying to us who believed in his word before the cross, and when things were critical, don't let this scene that I'm in cause you to forget the scripture. Don't let the scene make you forget the scripture. I say, don't let this scene, Corbett, don't let this scene, the violence, don't let this scene, the pandemic, don't let this scene make you forget the scripture or the Savior. And the truth is, many of us are just looking at the scene. And we think Jesus don't have everything under control. Because he's on the cross, he's bleeding and dying, and he won't come down. Even when it appears all wrong, Dr. Well, please know that Jesus is doing everything right. When you don't have what you think you need on this journey, don't forget the scripture. Psalm 22 said, I will declare the name unto my brethren. In the midst of the congregation will I praise thee. In Psalm 22, when he began the psalm, it was supposed to click the people's mind. In the midst of the melody, if you would keep on reading the psalm or remembering the psalm, this means at the end that the sufferer will be validated to triumph. Christ was trying to get them crunk up. I want to give you something to look at. And if they only would have remembered the scripture, they would have seen between verse 22 and 25 that God going to take care of the sufferer. And Jesus was letting them know, you think I'm suffering, but God got me covered. Our enlightenment is the word of God. For you who don't realize it, in the midst of our struggle, and in the midst of what we're going through down here, everybody don't always see things the same. Some say go to church. Some say stay at home. Some say go shopping. Some say sit at home. But the truth lies with the Lord. Everything that we're going through, God said he's the Alpha and Omega. He is the author and the finisher of our faith. Our faith, are the Christians. Our faith are the one who put their trust in the Lord. He has your beginning already laid out. He knows how you going to end before you woke up. God knew if the virus was going to call you home. God knew if you weren't going to have a job during the time. God knew that folk were going to talk about your faith. God knew that this day was coming. God knew how long we'll be here. God knows who's going to fall by the wayside. God knows who's going to hold up the blood stain down. God knows who's going to cry in the midnight hour. God knows who's going to keep the faith and who's going to fall. I want you to know what keeps you going should be the word of the Lord. When you're down, don't forget the scripture. Some of you here have been holding on to the scripture. When it looked like friends are gone and nobody is around, the scripture will tell you, Lord, I am with you always, even until the end of the earth. And when it seems like you have not a friend, you ought to look into the scripture and say, I never leave you nor forsake you. When you're having hard times in life, look to the scripture. The scripture says, though we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, we don't have to fear, because thou there, they comfort me. Is there anybody here in the midst of a perilous time? You're going to hold on to God's scripture. You got to hold on to what you know about the Lord. You got to hold on that you know He will come and see about you. You got to hold on when nobody else is holding. You got to know for yourself that the Lord didn't bring me this far just to leave me. You got to know that God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And if He brought me this far, I believe. Oh, no, last always. I believe. Joy will come. Joy will come. Joy will come in the morning. Is there anybody in here? In spite of your struggle, in spite of your strain, we got a Savior who will walk with you, talk with you. You are alone. And from that sin to the ninth, He hung on that cross. He died. But 3 days later, on the third day morning, that's why we're here this morning. He got up. Christ said, my God, why have you forsaken me? He only said that to get the ball rolling. He wanted you to keep reading. On down in Psalm 22, where you'll find out He'll come to your rescue. And He will. I said He will. I said He will. Is there anybody in here that know He will?